everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of the Immortal Hunter Club. Today's episode is pretty interesting. It is our first follow-up episode to an anomaly. Well, not really an anomaly. So the Dark XM Cure project is happening. Day 1, so phase 1 is happening. Day 1 was just yesterday, so we're all excited to get going on the analysis and stuff. So we got a lot of stuff like that going on. I have pictures, I have videos, so this is going to be a really cool episode. All right, so let's get down to business. So what happened yesterday was phase 1, day 1 of the Dark XM project. Now, some of you might be wondering what the heck is the Dark XM project. The Dark XM project is the current anomaly. I like to call it the preseason. So it's the current global event that's happening right now. And it involves 3 things. Well, I didn't have any coffee this morning, so I'm a little... okay, so 3 things. We have phase 1, which involves link stars and things. We have phase 2, which involves linking multiple cities, and then we have a global event that everyone can participate in. So phase 1 is happening. Day 1 was yesterday. Day 2 will be next week, this coming Saturday. Phase 2 will be the next 2 Saturdays after that. So phase 1 involves link stars, and what happened yesterday was 26 cities were chosen by Niantic, 13 for the Resistance and 13 for the Enlightened. And those cities were told portals and a measurement window by the Vanguards. Now, everyone knew that link stars were going to be happening and that the day that they were going to be happening. What we did not know was the portal and the time that these things were supposed to happen. So if your city was chosen, the Vanguards told you. So for example, they would tell me, hey, Milwaukee's going to have a link star. Is my audio not working? Can you hear me? Now everyone, okay. I can hear it fine. Had a little comment there in the chat. Okay, so phase 1, if you were told your link star is going to be going on, phase 2, or if you were told you were going to have a link star, then you would be told a portal and a time. If you were not going to have a link star, then you wouldn't know anything. So if you weren't told, then then if you weren't told you were going to have a link star, then you had to defend. Sorry, live broadcasting, there's a lot of things that can go wrong here. K-Mac is messing with me. Okay, so Milwaukee, we were not told. The Resistance was not told we were going to have a link star, so we had to play defense like most other cities in the world. Now, there's 13 cities for both factions that were told, and what you had to do was you had to get 50 links and a link star, which is linked into one portal. So 50 links linked into one portal within that 5-minute measurement window. And if the link star was up during that measurement window, then you accomplished the goal and you got the points. If it was not, then you did not win any points. So each link star was worth 1 point. Let's go to the scoreboard, actually. Okay, so here's what happened yesterday. This is the total score we have right now. It's 11 points for the Resistance, 14 points for the Enlightened. Now, if you look down at the bottom there for countermeasure, those were all the cities that had link stars. The ones that are lit in the color of the faction, those ones accomplished the link star. The gray ones did not. So as you can see, for measurement 1, which was the Asia section, the Resistance scored all 4 of their link stars worth 4 points, and the Enlightened didn't score any of them, so they didn't score any points for that one. In measurement 2, the Resistance scored 4 out of their 5, and the Enlightened scored 5 out of their 5. And then for the Americas, both teams missed out on one of their one of their link stars. So again, so coming up this Saturday, tomorrow, Monday, 13. Oh, let me back up. Okay, so starting tomorrow, 26 more cities are going to be told they have a link star. So this whole thing is going to happen again with the link stars. So get ready to defend your cities again Saturday. If you're told you have a link star, don't tell anyone else. Well, I guess tell your local team, but don't tell anyone else, because the advantage that you have is that you know the portal and the time frame. Nobody else knows that anywhere in the world. So if you're told you have a link star, keep that, in my opinion, keep that within your city. Do what you need to do to score that link star, and if not, be prepared to defend, because you won't know. Maybe next week they'll tell the Enlightened in Milwaukee, hey, you guys have a link star, and we're gonna have to get our team together to defend against that. So additionally, so that's all the link star stuff. That's phase 1. If you got your link star, you got 1 point for your faction. If you didn't, you got 0 points. So additionally, what else was happening was the portal count competition. So what that is let me cut back to the scoreboard. So Niantic took an initial measurement of how many portals were owned by both factions at a certain time. They said, okay, Resistance, you guys have, 1,797,000. Enlightened have 1,705,000. And then what you had to do was have the greater difference at the portal count measurement, which is always 1800 UTC on a Saturday. So last Saturday at 1800 UTC, which is 1 p.m. Central Time where I'm from, the Resistance jumped up their score. So we owned 69,000 more portals this week than we did last week at that measurement time. And the Enlightened owned 112,000 more portals between this week and last week. And again, it's only at that measurement time. It doesn't matter what's happening in between, but they take a snapshot, and that's what scores for this scoring system. So the Enlightened had more of a difference in portal ownership between this week and last week. So they won 5 points for their team. So that makes up for all 5 of the link stars that they missed out on. Now the Resistance, we missed out on 2, and we didn't get the portal count competition. So that's why the Enlightened is winning right now. So next week, there's another 5 points for that portal count, 1600 or 1800 UTC, which is 1 p.m. Central for us here in Milwaukee. They're going to take another snapshot. So they're going to take last week's this week's minus last week's, and that's going to be your difference. That's worth 5 points. And another 26 whole cities are going to do their link stars. So be prepared. This is still phase 1, but day 2 is coming up next week. So again, 11 points for the Resistance and 14 points for the Enlightened. So let's talk about some of the stuff that happened. So the Resistance in Asia were able to score all 4 of their link stars, and the Enlightened scored 0. So I guess kudos to the Resistance teams in Asia. It's really cool that you all worked really hard to defend. There's a lot of things you can do to defend your town. It's pretty difficult to block against 50 link star, especially when you don't know the time. So you could try fielding over your city, you can try having people running around, but it can be tiresome because you're running around all day. You don't know what time this is going to happen, and if you have a well-coordinated faction, then they're going to be able to get up 50 links like crazy. A lot of these that we saw happened within 15-20 minutes. They were able to get up their 50 links, and it's pretty difficult to defend against that in an urban area. So that's one. Those are some of the things. Let's go to some of our pictures here. So I took some pictures from RGNN. I kind of partner with them on the scoring and some of these picture things. Let me get to the beginning here. I didn't have this thing prepared ahead of time. Okay, so we have Santiago, Chile. They did a field over Santiago so that the Enlightened could not get a Link Star. It looks like they went to some pretty difficult to get to areas here to field over the town. There was no way the Enlightened was going to get a Link Star up in that town. Now, did they know? They didn't know if they had a Link Star, so they just said, we're going to field the city and make sure that no links can go up. This was Bogota, Colombia. Now, this one actually scored for the Resistance, and there's a nice group shot there. I think they had 200 or 300 links up at the time, so that was a pretty cool. One. Oh, here's Sapporo, Japan. Now, Sapporo is going to be an anomaly site in the next series, so they had their group together. They did a whole ton of links here. They got their POC, their point of contact for that anomaly site, helped head this Link Star initiative. So great work in Sapporo there. Awesome to see Japanese resistance agents. You know, they've been doing a really good job lately, I think. This one was in India. Now in India, I don't think they had one, but they went ahead and did a Link Star anyway, either to fake out the Enlightened or to, just score. Again, more blue portals means more scoring for the portal count competition. So good work on them. This is in Lebanon. They went to some pretty out of reach areas in Lebanon here to field their city. Again, they weren't sure if they were going to have a Link Star, so they said, we're just going to field the town, make it hard for them to take down this field, and hopefully they miss their link measurement. This one is Dubai, and Dubai had an awesome team. So in Dubai, they actually had one that scored for the Resistance. So, here's that group, and there's Burj Khalifa there in the background, tallest building in the world. And there's a picture of their Link Star there. Awesome team in Dubai. Great work there, Resistance agents. This is Buenos Aires, and in Buenos Aires, they did another one that they just wanted to go out, make as much blue as they wanted. This is kind of like, so one of the things I love about this game is you connect with people around the world, and if you would have been following us in Milwaukee, the pictures basically would have been the same thing. So it's kind of cool. Like, we were driving around, having a good time, smiles everywhere, having a beer afterwards. It was just a really cool, it was a really cool experience. So, I feel connected to these agents. And even though I didn't help with their operation, they're kind of doing the same thing that we're doing here. So it's kind of a cool thing. So yeah, lots of cool pictures from anomaly sites or from resistance sites around the world. I am not following any Enlightened news sites, but if Enlightened, if you're watching, send me your pictures. I will gladly show it. Remember, this is a cross-faction show. I'm a little bit biased toward the Resistance, but that won't stop me from celebrating your operations and events and things. So Enlightened, if you're watching, feel free to email, call, whatever you want to do. I will gladly show your operations. So we got the chat here. Did anyone in the chat happen to participate in anything like take over your town, fielding, or an actual Link Star that you had to score for? I'm curious if anyone has any comments about that kind of stuff. So while people are commenting, we actually did our own event in Milwaukee here. So Milwaukee Resistance, we did not have a Link Star, but we didn't know if the Enlightened were going to have a Link Star. So what we decided to do was we're going to help with the portal count competition and just start taking over everything in town. We're going to, boost up our portal base, help out the global resistance, take out a couple hundred portals here and there. I mean, the portal count, the resistance gained 69,000 portals, or a little bit over that. There's a good percentage of that is stuff that was just from Milwaukee. So let's try. So I took some videos along the way, and this was sort of the our sit rep of our operation, and it was sort of cut at the various points in the operation. So here's the first video. We're here live in Milwaukee. We are not a Link Star for Phase 1, Day 1 of the Dark XM Cure. However, we are going to be participating in the Portal Count contest. So we have a group behind us here, and they will be assisting, taking over the town, making every portal blue. We want to get that portal count up so that we can assist with the global game. We've got an awesome team. We're really excited this morning. I'm excited to get going. So that was our pre-meetup that we had. Again, our goal was just to take as many portals as we can. We got a big group together. We assigned roles to different people. We used grid and agent stats to track stats so we can, kind of see, okay, who's did the most mods, who did the most resonators. And these are things you can do in any of your towns. If you don't have a Link Star, this is a great way to get involved in this community, because that 5 points for the portal count, again, that covered all of the missed Link Stars that the Enlightened did. So they were able to, keep their score at a level point just from having that. So here is number 2 of the Milwaukee SITREP. All right, we're live in our Milwaukee Resistance operation here. We've completed Phase 1 of the operation, taking over hundreds of portals downtown. We're now moving on to Phase 2, moving out to some of the other outskirt areas and parks and things. The team is very pumped up. The greens have come out just a little bit to try and poke around, but it's a pretty solid wall. I don't know how they're going to be able to get through this thing. So we'll catch back up to you later. So one of the things we wanted to do was mess up the playing field as much as we could, so that if there was a Link Star in our town, there was just so many links, so many things that they would have to take so much effort to be able to clear out 50 portals to be able to score a Link Star. We definitely made it difficult for them, and a lot of what we did yesterday is still blue, so it's pretty awesome to see, put in a little bit of effort and it goes a long way. Here's number 3. So what we did was we took over as many portals as we could, then we started going to more of the outskirts areas and little spots that are kind of out of the way off the main roads. So here's number 3. Now this one I like a lot. All right, we've completed Phase 1 and Phase 2. We're now on Phase 3, which is walking through the parks on this beautiful day. We're actually at Lake Park, which is a very controversial park in the Ingress and Pokemon worlds. And standing behind me is, riding behind me is Brigadier General Erastus B. Walcott. He was the first Surgeon General of Wisconsin, and he was a Civil War general. This is actually one of my favorite portals. When I first started Ingress, this was one of the first places I discovered playing the game. I looked on the map, kind of trying to find where to go. There was a whole slew of portals here, so I came over, didn't even realize that the statue was here. And so I captured that, and this was also the place where I leveled up to, I think, level 10. And that was where I tried to get exactly the right amount of AP to get to level 10. And I used this portal to get that perfect amount of AP for that. So here we are, we're capturing the rest of this farm here, and we'll be moving on to other parks in the area. Lake Park is so cool, and it's so controversial. For those of you who've known me before the show, Milwaukee County tried to implement an ordinance where you could not place a location-based game point in a county park without a permit that you paid for. And so there was a lot of debate. The neighborhood was complaining because, again, there were a lot of portals in Lake Park, admittedly. And when Pokemon Go came out, there were hundreds of people that came out to the park. The neighborhood was a little bit frustrated at the understating that they were frustrated at the lack of parking, all the people walking around, etc. It sort of became this. There was a lot of people there, so the people talked to their representatives and they wanted to do something. So during the Parks Committee meeting, I actually showed up to defend against the ordinance. I did not want the ordinance to happen, just like any of you would. So I showed up as a resident of Milwaukee County, and they heard my heard what I had to say. A lot of the people that I was talking to at the time, they actually watched. They live stream the Milwaukee County committee hearings. So a lot of people were watching me at that moment, and I sent links to Andrew Krug and them so they could watch too and see. What ended up happening was a court struck down the ordinance, and the county was forced to pay the lawyer fees for a different company. Niantic did not sue them; a different company did, and the judgment was for that company. So the ordinance does not exist, and the county has to pay the lawyer fees for those people. So we were able to enjoy Lake Park for free with our location gaming points in the park. Granted, they were a little bit reduced, but they took out some of the points to kind of mitigate that. But I love going to Lake Park, and especially it was like 45 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday, so it was a perfect weather. You could have your jacket open. You could, we had it was a nice break from driving around to be able to walk down and through the park and just enjoy that nice sunny day. It was a great day for Ingress yesterday. So hopefully next Saturday it's the same. And yes, we have a viewer from India. That's pretty awesome. So I had a picture from one of the Link stars in India earlier. I think it was, what was the name of that city? Shoot. I'm gonna slaughter the name, but it's Madurai. So that was the India picture I had up earlier. Yeah, awesome work for resistance agents in India. You guys do a great job there. Okay, so we went to Lake Park, and it's getting close to our 1 p.m. deadline for the portal count. So here we go, part 5. All right, we're about 15 minutes to measurement here for the phase 1, day 1 of the portal count competition. And current count that I could see out of 385 portals, we have only 5 that are enlightened. 327 are resistance, and we got 53 neutrals that we're quickly trying to find before we hit the measurement. So, yes, awesome, great work, Blue Team, downtown Milwaukee. So yeah, getting close to 1 p.m., Enlightened started poking around, taking out some of those clusters, which they take out 10 portals here, 10 portals there. That dwindles our numbers pretty quickly. So we raced from Lake Park back downtown. Started going through, we hit Marquette University, we hit the Public Museum, all those areas. We were just trying to get as many of those as we could and keep them blue for that 1 p.m. checkpoint. And so here's our finale video from that. All right, folks, I don't know if you can hear me well. That bell signifies the 1 p.m. measurement has happened. We did a lot of hard work here in Milwaukee, and we're ready to head back in. So, I was a little out of breath at that point because we were racing down. There was a whole bunch of gray portals at Marquette University. So we drove out there. I jumped out of the car, tried to capture as many of I think there was like 15, 20 portals right in that little area, but they're all walking portals. You couldn't drive to them. So I jumped out of the car and I ran and I captured as many of those as I could. That was that it gets your blood pumping. This is the kind of stuff that keeps me playing Ingress, just running around and people looking at me like, what the heck is going on? And yeah, that was really fun. So we were able to get, I think, downtown, there was only a handful, I want to say less than 10 green portals out of the 700-ish portals in the downtown area. So great work, Milwaukee Resistance. I actually have a picture. So here's our crew from Milwaukee. I think we had about 13 of us. And then we had some other folks in other areas of the town. They couldn't get downtown, but they were able to help out with their own neighborhoods and things. So yeah, this is a great opportunity, especially with spring. So this is a great opportunity. Get your local communities together. And so from now until Saturday, capture everything you can gray. Get keys, recharge, do what you can. Keep those portals blue for the week. And then Saturday for that global portal count competition, I would get your team together, get everyone excited, and just roll through your towns or spread out to other towns. Do what you want to do, but get your teams together, get them raring to go, because this is a great time to get that community together. The anomalies are coming, and the anomalies are going to be a lot of work, and we need every agent we can to show up boots on the ground in these anomaly cities. So yeah, we had a ton of fun in Milwaukee for that portal count competition. I hope other towns can do the same. Some of the analysis of the link stars. So going back to the link stars, this is my opinion on the link stars and the strategy. So if you're told tomorrow that your city is going to have a link star, in my personal opinion, I would tell your local community, because obviously you're going to need all hands on deck. Get those players that just do their neighborhoods, get them excited, start doing farms, do frack farms, do what you can, because you're going to need as many people as you can to get those link stars up. Tell your local community, tell maybe a couple of people in the surrounding areas, maybe they can help recharge this portal. But the advantage that you have if you're doing a link star is the portal, nobody else does, and the time window. Nobody else knows that. So if you have both of those things, you can secretly farm for keys with all of your agents, and you can get everyone together. And remember, this stuff counts for the global scores, and whoever wins at the end of this Dark XM Cure at the end of the preseason, they'll get special anomaly intel for next week. So it's super important that, if you have a link star to help your faction, people around the world were able to get their factions together. And then if they didn't have a link star, they got people together. They did a fake op. They did a field from crazy locations. They did, what we did, where we took over their town. So do something on Saturday. Don't just sit around if you don't have anything. That's another thing that's, I think, really important about this. So, and if you need any help with link stars and stuff and your resistance, I'm obviously able to help get you connected to some people. There's a lot of good infographics and things out there on the score. So if you have a link star, get your team ready to go, because we are counting on you. I'm counting on you as a resistance agent, and the resistance as a whole is counting on you to do that link star. And then if not, we're all counting on you again to capture as many as you can. So go to those little spots, 3, 4, 5 portals. Remember, that all adds up. We got hundreds of portals yesterday doing our little operation through Milwaukee. So that's one of my things. There was a comment. I will make a comment about the rule change. So Niantic released the rules about the link star, about the portal comp competition. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, and then it was Friday or Saturday. It was after a couple days after they released the rules, they changed the rules, where instead of just taking that screenshot, that checkpoint of the portal count, they did a baseline. And so it was going to be, and we didn't know really when the baseline was going to happen. So the one comment I will make about that to Niantic, if you guys are watching, don't change the rules once you release it. You had 3 months or whatever to figure this out. You had it all figured out. I don't know what happened in those 2 days after releasing the rules, but something must have happened to trigger a rule change. After 3 months, you had 2 days, and suddenly there's some mistake that happened. That's what I have to say. So don't change the rules once they're released. Figure it out. Something must have happened behind the scenes to make them change the rules after they were released. A lot of people on both factions were pretty upset about that. So that's what I will say about the rule change. Let's see. So we're getting close to the end of the show. I want to say it was 2 shows ago. So I have this box of stuff from all these old anomalies, and a couple of episodes I mentioned that I had the original map from Cassandra, and Joe Philly signed my comic book. So I wanted to prove So I wanted to prove that I had those things. So this is my original map from Operation Cassandra, Chicago. So you can see meets at the Christopher Columbus statue portal. And this is what they used to release. So, factions have developed their own crazy maps with clusters and names of portals and everything. But they used to have this, so you could go online and just kind of... This was all I had. I wasn't connected to anyone, so I was like, okay, I guess I have to be at the Columbus statue at noon, and here's kind of where it is. So, there was no portal clusters designated. There was no... they kind of had, here's the general area, so that's that. And then here is my original comic book signed by Joe Philly, the Epiphany Night issue 1. So I just want to show people. And I have a lot of cool swag. If you have cool swag, send me some pictures and I'll show them. Because I have just like random stuff in that box. Patches, coins, maps and pictures and stuff. And I want to see you guys cool swag. So that's my OG swag. That's my... instead of coin check, I should start map checking people, because I have all my maps from every anomaly. I was a team lead in Madison. I have that there too. So send in your pictures and of swag and stuff. I do want to do a swag episode. I think that'd be cool to have people talking about their swag and stuff like that. So next week, so end of the show next week. XM Project Day 2 will be happening. I will do my live... I don't know if you saw, but if you subscribe, you'll be able to watch the live updates. I did it twice yesterday, and I'll probably do it twice again next Saturday, as well as the main show on Sunday to do the in-depth analysis. Maybe we'll have a banter buddy or something in here to talk about that kind of stuff. Yeah, I like doing that. So if you subscribe, you'll get alerts when I'm live. Now, granted, I was only live for about 5 minutes to do a score wrap-up, but still, you never know when I could be live somewhere crazy, or once the anomalies start, I'm going to be doing live broadcasting then too, like I did the one time. We've been doing a lot of testing. So next week, Phase 1, Day 2, get ready for your link stars. Get ready to take those blue portals. I need you. All of you watching need you, for whatever faction you're on. Take those gray portals, make them blue. And coming up, I was going to surprise Dave here. So the Iowa Bake Anomaly, which is a cross-faction event. Remember, we are a cross-faction show. Iowa Bake Anomaly is a cross-faction event, May 5th, 2018. Now, I don't know if Southwest flies to Des Moines, but I did see... on Facebook today, there was a Southwest sale that was happening, so maybe check it out. I don't know. If not, there's got to be sales somewhere, or use your show up. The Bake Anomaly, that's a really cool thing, and I'm excited. I haven't figured out if I'm able to go to that yet, but I know a ton of people from the area that have already made plans. They already got their hotels. They're gonna be there, and they're excited to see the puppy and the bacon. So Iowa Bake Anomaly, May 5th. And I guess this does it for the show. Thank you all for joining me again on Phase 1, Day 1 of the Dark XM Project preseason. Day 2 is this week, Saturday. So let's see the Resistance win that portal count competition. And we will see you all Saturday or Sunday. Have a good week, everyone.